I know just on the ground, but back again.
Well, it's good to be here, and it's I guess maybe the biggest thing is nice to get get a good practice in and get that under our belts and settle into a regular routine as we go into game day. Everything since we've been on the ground here in Philadelphia has been tremendous. The reception, the organization, not just in and around town and the city, but here at the arena, it's really evident that a lot of time, effort has gone into and continues going into making this a great event, and we're excited to be here.
Zane, what's happening? How are things going? You're at the Frozen Four. What do you have for us?
Nothing too exciting. It's just enjoying it, I guess. It's been a good work day, as Coach Hakstol says, and we've been working towards tomorrow night, so taking one step at a time, I guess. Mark,
you been to Philly before?
Nope, first time.
First time?
Excited to be here. Obviously, worked our way and earned our way here, and like Coach said, it's been great since the second we landed here, and been nice to see Philly a little bit, and excited to get going tomorrow.
Steph, what do you have down there? What are your thoughts?
Like everyone has said so far, great city. This morning got the chance to go for a walk and explore a little bit, which was nice. Been accepted very well in the community already, and we're excited to be here and ready for tomorrow night.
What about dinner last night, Dillon? Any tips on what you had?
I don't know, it was good. No, I kept it on the healthy side. It was a fun night for the team. It's been like a long 10 days of kind of built up excitement to get that week off. We kind of just wait around and want to get to Philadelphia, and it's been tremendous since we've got here. And for us, we're just excited about the opportunity to get to play tomorrow and go from there.
What do you guys suppose kept it on the healthy side means? Salad? Yeah, right. We heard chicken parm from others. Something like pasta, probably, huh?
I went with fajitas last night, if anyone's actually that interested. So.
Nice. We'll take your questions, and we do have the mics. Yeah, right here, please.
Coach,
could you introduce yourself?
Jonathan Tannenwald from Philly.com. I know you guys are going to be renewing this great rivalry with Minnesota in the Frozen Four, and Philly's a town that loves hockey a lot, but because there's not any college hockey teams in the city, hasn't really maybe seen before some of the passion, the pageantry that we're going to see tomorrow night with these two teams getting together. What do you think this city is maybe missing out on by not having that experience and now getting to see it for the first time? What do you think it's going to be like?
This city has such a great tradition in hockey and pro hockey, and the rivalries that the Flyers have built with a few other teams around the NHL. Hockey fans in this town have felt the strong passion and the tradition of those rivalries. They're going to see one of the great college rivalries, at up close and personal tomorrow, and really it's what they've seen, through their own Flyers and some of those traditional rivalries. The rivalry between North Dakota and Minnesota is a good one. It's a healthy one. There's a little bit of nastiness to it. There's a lot of respect to it between the two programs, and to be able to have the opportunity to play on a large stage tomorrow night. Obviously it's great for the rivalry and for college hockey, and maybe for some new college hockey fans here in Philadelphia. But let's also keep our focus on what's at stake tomorrow night, and that's the opportunity to move on and advance in this tournament, and that's the most important thing that we'll be playing for on Thursday night.
North Dakota and Minnesota met in the national semifinals in 2005 in Columbus. North Dakota won that 4-2.
Scott McLaughlin, WEI.com in Boston. For Zane, you were splitting time to start the season, missed a few games with an injury. What has this season been like for you, and what's allowed you to seemingly get better as it's gone on, even post-injury? And then, Dillon, if you could also chime in on what you've seen from Zane this season after.
Zane?
I'd just say personally, it's every day is a day to get better, especially at UND. We have great resources, whether it's Mark Pullman in the weight room and in the rehab process and stuff, or it's Carl Gehring working specifically with myself and 2 other goalies during goalie drills, goalie practices, before practice, actual practice. And then just as Coach talks about it, being a pro every day, making sure you put your best foot forward, and really just strive to be better each day. So I think it's been a process. Obviously a slow, but I think maturing process throughout the 2 years here, personally, and just making steps in the right direction, I guess.
Dillon?
Yeah, Zane all year long has pushed to get better, like he said. It's been pretty amazing to have a goalie like that. He's a passionate guy, he's a competitive guy, and he pushes everyone around to be better. I don't think I've met a goalie that doesn't like to get scored on as much as Zane, and I think that's just part of his attitude and his kind of dedication to hockey. Ever since he came back, he's been great, and using every day to using it to get better. And for us as a D-corps, it's great to have a guy back there you can count on.
Right here in front.
Matt Semish, USHO. Just for the upperclassmen, sorry, Zane, I don't mean to single you out. The last time that you played Minnesota in the NCAA tournament in St. Paul a couple of years ago, obviously it didn't go very well for you guys. Was that an easy thing for you guys to sort of get out of your mind, or do you feel like you maybe have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder from 2 years ago?
Who would you like to take that?
If I can get Stephane go.
Okay, Steph?
Yeah, that was a tough game. Obviously, it ended our season, so it wasn't an easy one to swallow, but hockey's the kind of game where you have to forget things earlier, and I think for us, we had a summer to think about it, but I think last year already, going into the season, we had to forget about it and kind of move on, and obviously we faced them last year as well, so it's an extra little, like you said, chip on your shoulder, just the team that ended your season last year and stuff, but it's so far in the past now that we're just really focused on the team we have now. We have a completely different team than we did 2 years ago, and we're just ready for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead,
more
Dillon.
than anything, a game like that, you kind of take it into the summer as it's quite a negative, but use it as motivation. I think more than anything, that game kind of stung us throughout that summer and pushed us into next season. But as far as this year goes, like Patton said, we got a lot of new players on this team, a lot of new personnel even, where you look back at that game and yeah, you use it as motivation as part of the past, but I don't think it has a whole lot of bearing on the players we have in that locker room right now. Like any game, it was a big game, and like any rivalry game, guys will be fired up to go tomorrow. So I think more than anything, you just have to take it for what it is.
Yes, sir, in the back there.
Chris Lorch, U.S. College Hockey Online. This is for Dillon. I think you and Derek are the only guys that have been to a Frozen. What advice have you given to the rest of your team?
I think, coming in as a 17-year-old, and I didn't play my first Frozen Four, but still being able to be a part of the venue and kind of see what it's all about and know what it takes, you learn a lot. Coming into this year with especially with the younger guys, not to get nervous about it. Obviously, there'll be butterflies, but you got to take that nervous energy and turning it into positive energy. Guys should be excited about the opportunity and just go out there and play. We all have all the faith in the world in each other, and just go out and play your game and play it to the best of your ability, and hopefully things take care of themselves.
Puck will drop at 8:36, semifinal number 2. North Dakota will be the visiting team, Minnesota the home team tomorrow. Further questions? Right here, behind you. Thanks.
Dave, Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer. Obviously, you've come in as a favorite at different times. What specific benefits were there not having that role this time coming in the tournament?
I don't know if it's really changed our mindset whatsoever. Maybe it reduces some of the outside chatter, but to be honest with you, I don't know if it has had an effect on our team one way or the other. Dillon just said it. The guys in the locker room have a lot of faith in the next guy that's beside them, and within that locker room, I think they've really done a great job as a group of players creating an identity, and I think we've just stayed true to that. Not just over the past 8 to 10 days, but we've stayed true to that identity over the last several months, and that's what we'll carry forward into tomorrow's game day.
Further questions right here in the front?
A couple questions for you, Dave.
Could you identify yourself again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Matt Semish, USHO. Just a couple questions. first of all, the second half of this season, you've had a much higher winning percentage than you did the second half of last season. I think it's about quite a bit. And you're also playing in a tougher conference, top to bottom, than you were in the WCHA. What do you put that down to, A, and B, just looking at Ferris a couple of weeks ago, is it fair to say that Connor Gordon is maybe the biggest walk-on you've ever had in the program, at least in your time there?
I guess I haven't really thought a whole lot about comparing last year or any of our past years with this year. I guess I'll attribute, some of our success this year, just to the guys in our locker room, really sticking with a mentality and a mindset, sticking together, and having a real good short-term focus. When we've had some bumps in the road, we've been able to put them behind us really quickly, learn from them. When we've had some small successes that we've had, we've been able to keep our feet on the ground and not get too far ahead of ourselves. I think we have a real good understanding of what we are as a team, and I think that's a real strength of this team. In terms of Gordy, I couldn't think of a better guy to score a game-winning goal that gives us the opportunity to be here today. He kind of embodies what our team is. He shows up every single day. He's a worker in the classroom, in and around our community, and at the rink. And I think if you asked the 24 teammates that he has, if they could pick a guy, he'd probably be at the top of the list because, as I said, he kind of embodies what we are as a team, and that workman-like style, paid off for him with that game-winning goal.
Right here.
Thanks. Coach, you've got a player,
read that?
Jonathan Tannenbaum, Philly.com. Sorry, I will get that right sooner or later.
Sorry, John. No, we got a few more games.
Coach, you've got
It's the transcription people. They get mad at me if they don't hear it. So, sorry.
you've got a player, Coach, in Michael Park, who's a prospect with the Flyers, and I'm sure he's very excited to be down here. For the weekend and playing in the Frozen Four. Do you at all think? Have you all had to settle his nerves about that or anything like that, or what sort of sense have you gotten from him about him getting to be here?
I guess I base everything off of what players are doing in practice and what their mindset is coming in. I think that's a lot more valuable than sitting down and having a 2-minute conversation. And Michael's had a great week of practice. He's been relaxed. He's been executing really well. And I think, there's no question, I'm sure there's a little extra excitement for him as he steps on the ice in this building today for practice. But again, I think, just like collectively, you keep everything in perspective. I'm sure Michael will do a good job of keeping things in perspective and getting his focus on the most important things for game day tomorrow. So, that's all a part of maturing as a player, and he'll do a good job of that.
Great to be here in Philly, isn't it? Boys, Flyers clinched a playoff spot yesterday, so the building is happy here. That's great. Does a Philly cheesesteak fit into the players' diet, Coach? Is that legal?
That's where we're going right now after practice. Best vendor on the street, the best Philly cheesesteak.
Nice. In the back
Maybe
here.
after. How about after?
Fair enough.
Jason Gonzalez, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. For Coach, what do you think makes this rivalry so healthy and nasty and respectful? I think I saw some stat where you guys have pretty much scored the exact number of goals in all-time games, and you guys are pretty much 500. Is it the similarities, or what is it?
Yeah, I think there's an awful lot of things. I mean, you look at the history and the tradition of the rivalry. It's been built like any good rivalry. There's been some great regular season games in there. But there's also, there's a pretty large number of playoff games where there's an awful lot at stake. It doesn't surprise me to, not only hear the results are fairly even, but, right down to the statistics. You've got two proud programs that lay it all on the line. That's what's been done in the past, and I'm assuming that's what will be done tomorrow night on Thursday night.
Okay, right here in front.
Scott McLaughlin, WEI.com in Boston. Zane, I know it's probably not on your radar now, but you've been a Bruins prospect for, I think, 4 seasons now. what has your relationship been like with the Bruins, and what is it like when you look at that organization and see some of the other goalie prospects they have?
We'll start with the first part of that. Just been in touch with the Bruins organization throughout the development camps in the past years, and there'll be times here and there receive a phone call, but nothing too crazy, I'd say. I think the brass there at Boston does a really good job of just letting their prospects play and develop at the team they're at currently, and just having trust in the process of becoming a pro player and pro prospect. So I think it is what it is. And secondly, with the depth, I guess, no matter what, at any level you'll be at, there'll be competition in that specific position, and you just gotta work your tail off and do your best, and let the chips fall where they may. So just to address that, it is what it is, I guess, and looking forward to it maybe one day down the road.
Any further? Okay, right here.
Dillon, Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer. Fully respecting that the Frozen Four trumps even the greatest rivalries, I'll ask you a rivalry question. Is the rivalry greater for the fans or the players between these programs?
Who was that for? Sorry.
For Dillon.
Dillon? Okay.
Probably different. Obviously both fans and players get really excited for games like this. I know our fans have been, had this date circled on their calendar since that Ferris State game, and for us as players, it's also an exciting time. But I think more talk goes out to the fans than talking back and forth and making a bigger deal out of it than I think we do. As far as our team, and I know the Minnesota team, it's pretty in-house. We just look forward to the next game and trying to play our best game. We have all the respect in the world for their team and how good they are, but we're not going to go out of our way like a lot of the fans do to kind of go back and forth.
Good question. Right here.
Sorry. Just for Zane, talking about
Could you identify yourself again?
Okay,
Thanks.
sorry.
Got company, John.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Semish, USA. Just for you, for Zane, talking about the Ferris State game a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you didn't know that night that if you had won that game, you'd be playing Minnesota next. But I mean, now that you know you're playing the Gophers, is what you saw in the Ferris game? Do you feel like that's maybe a little bit similar in terms of what you might be seeing with Minnesota tomorrow?
Yeah, I certainly think so. At this time of year, it's playoff hockey, so anything could happen. Guys are throwing pucks at the net wherever they're at on the ice sheet. So I think what might be similar in the two teams with Ferris and Minnesota is the speed of the forwards and such. I think if you look back at tape, there's maybe Minnesota's strong point is their speed up front and even on the back end too. So I think it'll be definitely a similarity, but at the same time, we're just worried about our game, what we have to do to be successful, and go from there, I guess, really.
Sure. Back.
Jason Gonzalez, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. For Dillon, some of the Gophers and their staff were talking about how they were going to find a way to play North Dakota this year. As a senior, was there any talk about that early on, and is it good to be able to finish towards the end of your career a matchup like that?
Like Coach said, we've been a really short-term focused team, I think, all year, and that's been attributed to a lot to our success. There's been no talk throughout the year of trying to play them or, hoping to play them. I think for us, it's a weekend-by-weekend kind of mindset. As a senior, to be able to play them in the Frozen Four, it is a thrill, but at the end of the day, no real talk about it throughout the year.
Anything further? Okay.
Jonathan Tannenwald, Philly.com. A question for Dillon. I think people who maybe don't follow college hockey all the time, they might still have heard about the really nice arena that you guys got built a couple of years ago. But for you as being one of the seniors on this team, talk about what it takes to decide to go to North Dakota when it, for people in some parts of the country, and I would say probably here is one of those parts of the country, seems a pretty out of the way place relative to a Big Ten school or a Boston College or something like that. The decision to go to North Dakota and what that means to you.
Well, for me personally, going there and being able to meet the personnel right away, the coaches, the players, and stuff like that, and obviously seeing the Ralph Engelstad Arena, it was a quick and easy decision for me. it's a great kind of community to be a part of. They love our hockey, they love our team. Kind of the tradition that's been built throughout the years in our program is something that we all take a lot of pride in, and something that you kind of soak up when you first get there and becomes a big part of your life. As for the rink, as a senior, I still go to the rink every day and look at it in awe. We're very privileged to be able to play in a place like this, and we take a lot of pride in doing well for our program.
Okay, right here.
Mike Jensen, Philadelphia Inquirer. Dave, I'm sure this is old news in your two states, but with the change of leagues, what did prevent the teams from playing this year?
Well, I'm not going to get into specifics here. What I will say, I think it's it's a series that should be played each year. I think we should have a 2-game series, and we're going to work to have that continue after we resume that regular season non-conference matchup beginning a couple of years from now.
Okay, anything further? Very good. Guys, thank you very much. Best of luck.